There's some media outlets out there, guys, that are calling this the worst horror movie ever made. And while I didn't particularly enjoy it myself, I find that extremely harsh. Because I can name you quite a few horror movies off the top of my head right now that are worse than this movie. So, every Hellraiser movie after the second one is worse than this. Right? The Woman in Black 2. The Boy 2. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5. Freddy's Dead. All the Resident Evil movies, including the new one, shite. Worse than this. Right? Every Day of the Dead movie, other than the original, is worse than this. So, they're just ones off the top of my head. I've reviewed some on my channel. Bloody hell, House 3. House 4. The Mutilator. Bloody hell. Maniac Cop 3. Right? They're all worse than this movie. So to call this the worst horror movie is extremely harsh. So, now that rant is out the way, let's get into my review of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. Hey guys, so how are you all doing? So I just needed to get that out the way because I do feel like certain critics are being far too harsh on this movie. I really do. And we are, as you know guys, we're talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. And my review for this is going to be quite similar to my Halloween Kills one. To be honest with you. Because as I didn't particularly enjoy the movie myself, I do completely understand how horror fans would really enjoy this movie. I do get it. Just unfortunately for me, it didn't hit the spot. But I do understand the love that it's getting. And it's very similar to what happened with Halloween Kills. It's extremely similar. It's dividing the fan base just as much as that movie did. So, to get into the very simple, quick plot of the movie is a group of teens, or young adults called, influencers or something like that? I don't know. I'll be completely honest with you. I wasn't paying that much attention at the beginning. They've bought a town that they're going to turn into like their little social media town, influencer town. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, unfortunately for them, Leatherface is still about. And through a fence, they unleash his bloodlust again. And he just goes on a complete rampage. It's basically the movie. To get into my positives, I will say this. I really did enjoy this Leatherface in this movie. He was brutal. I mean, honest to God, there were some moments in this movie where I was like, oh my God, no. It like made my skin crawl with some of the stuff that he did in this movie. He was great. This is going to be a little bit sacrilege to some horror fans. I know it is. And you're probably going to turn this review off as soon as I say this. But I preferred this Leatherface over the original. Whereas the original one was like very he was just a pure beast. Do you know what I mean? There was no finesse about him whatsoever. In this one, I just liked him a bit more. He was just more brutal, more thorough. He just gets the job done. You know what I mean? And I like the look of him in this one as well. You just, like I say, with these guys, you never want to bump into these people. Your day won't end well. You know what I mean? If you're having a good day, that smile would get wiped off your face very quick. So I did like Leatherface in this. And some of the kills were really good. Like, they're really good. And I must admit, my favourite scene in this movie is on the party bus. Like, when he gets on that party bus and they all get their phones out and say, don't try anything, you're going to be cancelled. I wanted him to absolutely massacre every dickhead on that bus. And he does, and it's glorious. It's probably one of my favourite horror movie scenes ever, to be honest. I was just like, oh, just kill them all, man. God, the fucking young adults do my head in. Yeah, just massacre them all, fine. Yeah, go on, get in there, Leatherface. And I'll tell you what, for someone that's supposed to be 40, 44, 45, 40, no, sorry, what, 74, 75, 76 years old, he moves well. Do you know what I mean? He moves well, especially for a big guy and all. So yeah, I did like a lot of that aspect in this movie. I've got to be honest, I did. And this one is going to cross into my negatives, but just bear with me on this one. The film looks beautiful. Like, there's some really lovely shots in this movie. And the use of lights as well. Like, and especially on that scene on the bus as well. Like, it looks great. No, there's no argument with that. And I think it's directed quite well, to be fair. But that's going to move into my negatives a little bit. And like I say, guys, as you know, I've only watched the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre before watching this one and the remake, which I don't really remember a lot about, but I do remember walking out the cinema actually enjoying the remake. I'll have to rewatch that at some point. But this new one, it looks too new. And what I mean by that is, I think if you're going to do a Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequel or movie or whatever, for me, the one thing from the original you've got to keep is just how it looked. Do you get what I mean? The new one's just too polished. It's too 2022. It's too modern. You know what I mean? Whereas I think they should have gone for the look the original had. You could keep the movie set in modern day, that's fine. But just keep like the look, how it felt, the grimy look, the dirty look, the cheap budget look. You know, I think that's what like comes along, you know, comes with a Texas Chainsaw movie. Keep the feel, the griminess, the dirt, the disturbing nature of it. You don't have to be so as disturbing as the original is. You could just have a bit more fun with your movie. As this movie does have a lot of fun. But yeah, it's just a bit too modernised for me. And I thought the characters were fucking annoying in this movie. I didn't relate to any of them. The whole bringing Sally back, basically ripping off the new Halloween movie. It just did. It ripped it off. And it didn't do it well at all. Like, if it felt really shoehorned in. Like, I don't think they were meant to have that originally. And then it's been like a last minute add-on. That's what it feels like, because it doesn't bring anything to the movie. It doesn't add anything. It doesn't... Because I thought, if that was going to be your original idea, have that as your story. Have Sally as the main character in your movie along with Leatherface. But then, in saying that, you would be ripping off Halloween 2018 with doing that. But I would have preferred seeing that side of this movie than what we got. So, you know, and yeah, just ultimately, for me, it just fell flat. You know, and I'll be honest with you, I only watched it the other day. And I've pretty much kind of forgotten a lot of it already. Apart from, obviously, what I've mentioned, the scenes that I enjoyed. It hasn't really stuck with me. And would I watch it again? No, I wouldn't. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't like to see a follow-up to this. Or if they try and do another attempt to do a Texas Chainsaw movie, I would be up for that. But, you know, if it was up to me, if I was making it, I would try and get back to the grimy nature of what the original did. That's what I would try and do anyway. But, yeah, guys, ultimately, it didn't really do anything for me. But like I said, I do completely understand how horror fans love this movie. I get it. I get it on both sides. I understand if you don't like it, and I understand if you do like it. I get it. But for me, I'm going to rate it, guys. I will probably give it a 2 out of 5 for me. 2 out of 5. But if you do enjoy this movie, guys, fair play to you. Fair play to you. I get it. I do get it. So, I'm sorry this review was late, guys. But thank you so much for joining me. And as always, please take care of yourselves and each other. And I will see you again very soon. Take care, guys. Bye now.